Alright, welcome back to Taste Panel for Chili Nerds, guys. Hey, forgot what episode it is today, but hey, sometimes that stuff happens. Look on the margin there on the site, and it'll have the show listed below. So anyway, guys, hey, a little Alzheimer's going on, but that's not all. I had a really bad week, guys. I'm on antibiotics for my ear, which is infected. I really hurt my bicep this week. So, yeah, so I've had better weeks than this, so forgetting the number of the show is actually pretty low on the list today. Anyway, guys, hey, want to continue forward is the word I'm looking for, with the heat here, trying to get some really hot sauces going, coming off of our supermarket shows that we had there, a string of those. Yeah, hey, we're going to do another one from Old Grumpy Marks. We took a look at their Cuban Missile Crisis sauce, but they seem to have a lot of military events going on. This one being called Pearl Harbor. If I'm just to think about it, at least mentally, it seems like Pearl Harbor might be a little more extreme than the Cuban Missile Crisis. I don't know, I guess it's just a matter of perspective, but it just sounds hotter, Pearl Harbor, so I'm having some high hopes that a sauce called Pearl Harbor will indeed be pretty hot. Okay, guys, this one here says, hot sauce builds courage. Again, these guys are Old Grumpy Mark making sauces for the Raw Burrito fast food chain. You can find a whole bunch of these guys. I know there is hotter than this one. Still not able to get anything hotter than this one yet. The stuff made with the ghost peppers and all that. But hey, let's try Pearl Harbor because it sounds kind of devastating, and hopefully it will live up to the expectations of our super hot shows here. Alright, so it says here, enjoy all of my hot sauce flavors and different varieties of award-winning salsa. Okay, for additional information, you can go, guys, to www.oldgrumpymarks.com and check out his whole line of sauces. Nothing else going on this one. I'm going to go right into the ingredients. Really small and written in kind of a blurry white, so I'll do my best. Would be vinegar, pineapple, apple, garlic, onion, hot peppers, carrots, sea salt, brown sugar, all natural xanthan gum, and guys, that's it. It just says hot peppers. So hey, this might be a bit of a letdown because I really don't know what kind of hot peppers are in here. Plus we have a brown sugar in there to sweeten things up. We have a lot of fruit in here, almost like my own sauces. So hey, maybe this will be a sauce out from my own heart. But just from the ingredients list, I'm kind of doubting this Pearl Harbor thing. So let's check it out. It's the only way to go. I'll let you take a look at the sauce as soon as I get the snack label off of here. Alright. Coming off piece by piece. Okay, guys, here. This guy here, again, like the Cuban Missile Crisis, looks a little bit on the runny side, though it does have a mild liquidy, gelatinous type of thing going on as well. Color here, kind of an amber leaning towards orange in color, a little more interesting than perhaps the Cuban Missile Crisis sauce was. So hey, let's take a whiff of this guy and see where we stand. Okay, kind of right off the bat, I thought with perhaps all those fruits that were listed in there, we get a really fruity nose. Some of that hanging in the background there, but a really straight up kind of almost salty, kind of maybe a little chili-ish going on there as well. But smelling a lot of salt in there, perhaps a little garlic floating in the background as well. Between the salt and the garlic and the little bit of chili note, the fruit seems to be getting lost in the aroma. Perhaps, let me shake this one more time quick, perhaps that will change and we will be able to taste those pineapples and apples and all the good stuff going on in there. It does not smell like a sweet sauce either, so perhaps that, and hopefully that brown sugar will be a little laid back. Don't mind brown sugar so much in a barbecue sauce, but hey, in a hot sauce, kind of seems a little out of there. All right, yeah, really, really thin and liquidy. Not much going on. A broken seed in there, maybe a little bit of flecks of pulp. But hey, here we go. Yeah. All right. Hey, pretty surprising with the flavor. Getting a whole lot of kind of fruity notes going on. Actually, contending a bit with the tanginess of that vinegar. We are getting a little bit of sweetness going on. Can't identify that as brown sugar. Brown sugar usually being something that has a very defined and kind of upfront characteristic to it, in good balance with this sauce. Kind of hard to differentiate if the sweetness is actually coming from the fruit, perhaps those pineapples, or if that brown sugar is just in such balance that it's providing a little bit of fruitiness up front. Right off the bat, sauce is not crazy hot, but certainly does have some heat. Certainly has some chili flavors going on in the back. Again, not sure what kind of peppers they are. Kind of leaving a bit of an astringency. Possibly habaneros going on in there. I would lean more towards something, a pepper that has a defined heat like a habanero, because it is actually kind of enveloping the tongue. It's got the lips stinging right now. Again, hardly anything super hot, but hey, this guy here, pretty flavorful. I'm actually going to have a tiny bit more because it was so liquidy. I can try to determine maybe some other flavors going on. Yeah, kind of actually catching the back of the roof of the mouth, just drifting into the throat there. Really giving that a good solid pinpoint hit. Yeah, pretty good heat on this guy. Really good flavor actually too. For as thin as it is, guys, packing a whole lot of flavor going on. Definitely picking up on sweet, fruity notes going on. You get a sharp kind of tanginess going in, but the tanginess does not distract. Almost like a sweet and sour type of sauce. Yeah, and with a definitely reasonable heat. Again, nothing crazy going on here. Not going to blow any chili heads out of the water. It's this one, but certainly not a bad bite. And again, with that fruitiness and kind of almost tanginess, it's almost building a citrusy, astringent chili flavor. So, guys, I'm going to think that perhaps habaneros are the pepper that's going on in here, though I can't be definitely certain, but certainly has all the earmarks of habanero peppers happening. So, yeah, kind of attacking mainly. It's got the tongue, it's running a U pattern along the front of the tongue, kind of drifting back and catching the back of the tongue, and the roof of the mouth area above the tongue just drifting slightly, like I said, into the back of the throat. Getting some stinging, flanging out on the bottom lip to pinpoint, almost like a snake bite in the center of the top lip. The inside of the corners of the mouth, mainly on the inside of it, on the softer, mucous membrane. Getting some burn there. Oddly enough, not catching the inner cheeks all that heavy. Tip of the tongue has a glow going on it. So kind of a weird pattern burn is Pearl Harbor. But hey, I prefer this sauce a lot to the Cuban Missile Crisis. This one here, again, having a real depth of character. This one is between all the sweetness of those fruits and the peppers and the interplay of the vinegar. And to be honest, guys, salt is pretty much in balance. I taste it has this little salty note going on in there, but certainly not over the top, not overboard on that. So I was really glad, because the aroma kind of hints that it's going to be a real salty dog, but didn't turn out to be that way at all. Good sauce, good balance. Hey, restores my faith in old Grumpy Marks. Not that I disliked the other one, but kind of found it a kind of run-of-the-mill habanero sauce. That one too being kind of thin. So, but hey, if we're going to deal with a real thin, watery sauce, it's good to have it packed with tons of flavor, right? So, all right, guys. Hey, well, I have all this stuff going on in my mouth right now. Right now, kind of that tanginess kind of holding in there. The mellowness of the sweet fruit still lingering in the background. Heat mainly catching me still in the lips, back everywhere else kind of subsiding down to a glowing ember. So anyway, guys, hey, like I promised, we're gonna step back in time. This may seem like deja vu. I am going to attempt once again to do a movie review. I know I covered these 2 shows ago. But I did it really fast, and I really believe that a movie like this, these epic movies, deserve a little more coverage, and it'd be for me to be a little more informative about it to you. So hey, as I do my movie critiques, I will probably improve as time goes by. But hey, we're going to give this a shot. I want to set this off to the side for now, guys. We'll see that again later. Again, guys, The Living Christ. There you have it. Okay. This is a 3 DVD set. Again, a 6-hour movie divided into serialized into 12 parts, each being 30 minutes long. So yeah, hey, again, there is Robert Wilson as Jesus. I have made notes, guys, a couple of years ago, I did reviews of movies online, so I am going to turn to my notes of the thing, because I don't always have time to watch 6-hour movies all the time to review it, but I did a very lengthy review on it. I want to cover just certain ground with these movies. First of all, guys, the movie here, a church-produced film. The movie is in color. It is from 1951. The color itself, guys, kind of a faded thing. The production level, kind of a bit on the low budget side. However, not super low budget. A lot of the movie itself being studio bound. However, it does have some on location wilderness shots as well. The actual movie is kind of set up in such a way that it is scriptural. They follow scripture pretty precisely through the movie. However, there is dialogue in it that is added dialogue, so it's kind of imagined conversation going on. But hey, the way they present it, it seems like it's pretty plausible stuff. So it's kind of more of generally a movie, like with actors just kind of having scripts. Okay, so one of the things I want to cover in this is the main things being is the movie, as I've established, is already scriptural. The character of Jesus being portrayed in the movie. We're going to look a little bit at some of the action covered here. Okay, we see the movie starts off in ancient times with the King Hezekiah is going to be under attack. So Isaiah prophesies the coming of the Messiah, jumps forward to Joseph and Mary, goes through all that. It goes through John the Baptist, and yeah. So okay. So one of the things I want to look at, guys, is the portrayal of Jesus. We have Robert Wilson as Jesus. Jesus. One of the important things in any Jesus movie is Jesus portrayed as the Son of God. Is Jesus portrayed as divine in this movie? That would be a definite yes. The portrayal, little 1950isms going on there. Robert Wilson being pretty much of a living room Jesus, or European American Jesus. Just what you'd think of the Jesus hanging on the wall, the white guy that wears the white robes, and the blue-eyed kind of handsome features. We have that going on. We wouldn't expect any less from the 1950s. So. However, the portrayal of Christ, pretty good in this. Robert Wilson, kind of a gentle, soft-spoken Christ. He kind of brings forth kind of the real forgiving side of Christ. If I was to look at his character of Christ, I would say that he would draw me to him just by his gentle demeanor going on in this movie. However, one thing that's a little off-key with it is kind of a wooden performance, perhaps a little bit of what I call the Shakespearean thing going on, kind of like the elevated Christ that's not quite at home. He's not quite human. Seems a little bit off key, perhaps a little bit out there. So we have to remember that Christ was human too. This Jesus kind of speaks like a very elevated, but and at sometimes when that takes place and you establish that kind of distinction, that kind of separates Jesus' humanity from the rest of the humans, you kind of sometimes that creates a little bit of a creepiness to him. However, it's pretty much overcome by his gentle aspect. Movie goes through some of the highlights here. It does have Christ's miracles. He preaches in the movie. He has the scene of tempted in the wilderness. Makes brief allusions to the zealot thing going on, but that is better explored in some later movies, particularly those of the 60s and 70s. We have a really nice interaction between Pilate and Christ in this movie. Pilate here, kind of an unsympathetic Pilate to Christ. We see that again. We see a wonderful Last Supper sequence in this movie. It's one of my favorites. Set design itself is beautiful. The one thing that's missing, I think I mentioned last time when I covered it in less detail, is we build up this really nice relationship with this gentle Christ, and who really pulls us in. And I feel the directors really missed out on some heart-wrenching stuff when they cut out the whole march to Golgotha. I really think that aspect of the story we see that we really get ourselves attached to Robert Wilson's Jesus, and I think it was an error on the director's part not to capture that moment. Kind of a wasted opportunity there. Action picks up on the cross, but hey, everything goes back to normal. We have a tomb scene. We have Doubting Thomas meeting Jesus at the end, and that's kind of where it ends, with Jesus telling us how blessed we are if we believe. So, kind of an overall one of the real classic Jesus films is The Living Christ. One of my favorite ones. The two epic movies from the 1950s here, the early 50s, they're really hard to beat, guys. So I would definitely recommend The Living Christ as a place to start if you are wanting to watch some films about the life of Christ. So yeah, I'm gonna give a thumbs up to The Living Christ. So hey, go check out that movie. And like I said, guys, I gotta really work on this movie reviewing thing because I just have to learn how to pace myself. So hey, we'll be back with another one until I get really good at this, guys, because God knows there are enough films on the life of Jesus. So I'll be back in 8 to 10. Hey, welcome back to the pen. Here again, guys, with Old Grumpy Mark's Pearl Harbor sauce. You can take one last look at that. Guys, pretty impressive stuff here. I'm perhaps not so fitting for a run of super hot shows, but hey, we can't win them all the time. But what we did win out here is with flavor on this guy. Though it did have some heat, I can't really complain. Excuse me, got a little gas going here, so hey, working some wonders, I guess. But hey, a really flavorful sauce here. Again, kind of a sweet and tangy sauce might be the best word for it. But again, kind of has some subtle fruity complexities going in there. Has some subtle chili complexities going on in there. With the advent of this sauce, I'm really looking forward to trying some of their other sauces, whether that be some of their other fruit-based sauces, or some of their other ones featuring hotter peppers like ghost peppers and the like. So, guys, we'll have to look out for that this season. When the pepper season comes around, perhaps he'll have, Old Grumpy Mark will have access to more peppers, just like I will, and just like a whole lot of other growers will here, living in the Northeast. So, hey, guys, we'll be back. So, in the meantime, hey, forgetting what I'm saying, read your Bible, say your prayers, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye now.